If I had to go back into the classroom tomorrow, there are five things I'd buy immediately. Not eventually, immediately. These are the tools and items that made the biggest difference in my teaching career. And honestly, if you're looking for a gift for a teacher in your life, these would be great places to start. Now, these aren't in any particular order. These are just things that after almost 20 years in education, I don't think I could teach without. So let's get started. Number one, an iPad and Apple Pencil. I know a lot of teachers already have these, but if you don't, this would probably be my first purchase. During my last years in the classroom, I rarely used a traditional whiteboard anymore. Most classrooms now have large display screens, and teaching from an iPad gave me so much more flexibility. I could use different colors, save everything, and project my notes instantly. One of my favorite systems was keeping two notebooks. The first was a blank student notebook that I posted online. The second was a completed teacher version that I filled out live during class. That meant that if students were absent, and let's be honest, especially after COVID, a lot of students were absent, they could immediately access the notes, print them out, and catch up on their own. It also helped students who just needed to review material later. Honestly, after teaching this way, I don't think I could ever go back to using only a traditional whiteboard again. Number two, GoodNotes. Now, in addition to the iPad and Apple Pencil, the app I would want on that iPad is GoodNotes. GoodNotes is a note taking app for the iPad. It lets you write, organize, save, and share your notes digitally. I know a lot of schools use Notability, and Notability is great too. So if you're already comfortable with Notability, keep using it. But personally, I prefer GoodNotes. For me, the interface is cleaner, it's easier on the eyes, and it's just a little more intuitive when I'm trying to move quickly during class. When you're teaching, you don't want to fight with the technology. You want the technology to disappear into the lesson. That's what I liked about GoodNotes. I could organize my classes, keep my notebooks separated, write directly on PDFs, and save everything without having to think too much about it. And that matters because when you're in front of students, every extra click feels like 10 clicks. So for me, if I'm buying the iPad and Apple Pencil, GoodNotes is the app I'm putting on it right away. Number three is ChatGPT. And regardless of how you feel about AI, teachers can still receive a free educator membership by verifying their employment. For me, ChatGPT is not about having it do the job for you. It's about having a thought partner. It's useful when you need to brainstorm lesson ideas, research a topic, simplify an explanation, or think through a hypothetical situation. It's also really helpful with data. For example, if you have test scores, you can remove the student names and any identifying information, then use ChatGPT to help you look for patterns. Where did students do well? Where did they struggle? What skills might need reteaching? It can help you move faster, but the teacher still makes the decisions. That's the key. AI should support your judgment, not replace it. So if you're a teacher and you have access to the free educator version, I think it's absolutely worth trying. Coming in at number four is Wayground. Now, I know there are a lot of review and assessment platforms out there. Kahoot, Quizzes, Blookit. You really can't go wrong with any of them. But if I walked back into the classroom tomorrow, Wayground would be one of the first tools I'd sign up for. The reason is simple. It saves time while giving me really useful information about what my students actually know. Need a quick bell ringer? Wayground can do that. Need an exit ticket at the end of class? Easy. Want to check for understanding halfway through a lesson before moving on? Done. As a teacher, one of the hardest things is figuring out whether students are truly understanding the material or if they're just nodding along because they want lunch. And let's be honest, sometimes they're definitely thinking about lunch. Wayground gives you immediate feedback. Within seconds, you can see which concepts students understand and which concepts need to be retaught. Even better, a lot of the content is already created by other teachers, so you don't always have to start from scratch. You can search, modify, and customize activities to fit your class. Anything that helps me spend less time creating materials and more time actually working with students is a win in my book. That's why Wayground comes in at number 4 on my list. Number 5, one great pair of pants. Coming in at number 5 is going to sound incredibly boring, but trust me on this one. One really great pair of pants. Not 5 pairs, not 10 pairs, just one pair that you absolutely love. Because teaching is way more physical than people realize. You're standing all day, walking around the classroom, kneeling down next to students, moving desks, running across campus, and sometimes teaching for 6 or 7 hours straight without really sitting down. When I first started teaching, I wore traditional dress pants because I thought that's what teachers were supposed to wear. Big mistake. Eventually, I realized that comfort matters a lot. So here's my advice. Set a budget and find the pair of pants that you absolutely love. Maybe that's Costco. Maybe it's Macy's. Maybe it's Lululemon. The brand honestly doesn't matter. What matters is finding something that's comfortable, stretches, breathes well, and still looks professional. Because once you find that magical pair, you're going to wear them 2 or 3 times a week anyway. And every teacher watching this knows exactly what I'm talking about. We all have that one pair. Teaching is hard enough. Your pants shouldn't make it harder. That's why one great pair of pants comes in at number 5 on my list. Those are the 5 things that if I had to go back into the classroom tomorrow, I would absolutely get before my first day of school. Now, some of these cost money, some of them are completely free, but every single one of them would make my teaching life a whole lot easier. And honestly, if you're not a teacher, but you're looking for a gift for one, I think just about anything on this list would make a pretty good gift as well. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? What do you think of the list? Did I miss anything? Is there something on here that you disagree with? If there's a tool, an app, a piece of technology, or maybe even an article of clothing that you think every teacher needs, let me know down in the comments because I'm always looking for new ideas. And if you found this video helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing. I'm going to be making content about teaching, technology, AI, and honestly just all kinds of things related to making life as an educator a little bit easier. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. I've been Justin, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.